Welcome to InterviewU, where your questions take center stage. You submit the questions, and we interview the professionals. Today, we're collaborating with the YouTube channel at Rose AJ Coates. Rose AJ sits down with Joanna to explore her carnivore journey and her new focus on emotional alignment, her way of giving back to a community she deeply respects.
So watch, listen, and learn all about Joanna Ruth and emotional alignment.
You being able to pinpoint when your weight started picking up and how you kind of
Mm.
balanced it out with exercise.
Mm.
Were there any food addictions at play, any sugar addictions, or any compulsiveness? Did it affect
Mhm.
your mental health besides your physical well-being, your emotional health? Yeah,
Yeah.
all of that?
Yeah, so I had an addiction to junk food, in the sense that I discovered so everything came to light after this relationship broke up, and I decided so I made this vow. I still remember the house that I was in and the table that I sat at and the tears and the wailing, and I made a vow to the everyness. I didn't really understand what this other part of myself was. So I kind of made a vow to the larger part of me. I said, I will go anywhere. I will do anything. I'm so unhappy. I am in such a mess. I will give up everything that I've ever created in this world or been given in this world just to feel happy and feel myself, feel joy. And because I hadn't felt anything until that point, from the age of 3 until that point at I was 35, I didn't feel my feelings. I became an empath just to survive my childhood because I couldn't feel my own feelings. So I had to feel everybody else's feelings and figure out everyone's feeling all these things. So that's the lay of the land. So I was always on hyper alert in that regard. So this is at the age of 35, I began to change my environments. I began to strip away things to find out what's not me and what is me. And through doing that process, I discovered that when I have an emotional upset, very upset, I would compulsively drive around to all the takeaway food drive-through places, and I would buy particular things from particular places, and I would create a smorgasbord for myself. I'd bring it all home and I'd sit down, and this one time, and I only remember this one time because after this time I never did it again because I saw it. I woke up to it. So I remember sitting down in a very lonely space, surrounded by all my favorite junk foods and drinks. I had opened and sampled everything, and then I consciously saw what I was doing. Because I think I'd changed my environment so much, and it wasn't I couldn't overlook the habit. There was no distraction from seeing it. So I woke to it, and in that moment, I decided, oh no, that's never ever going to happen again. Like, I'm in charge and I'm watching you. It's almost like this automatic pilot that was running my life for so many years just got caught out. I think that was the first time that I really consciously started parenting myself. That was the first black mark against my subconscious's name. These compulsive behaviors. That was not going to happen again because, I can consciously be really good for a month, and then all of a sudden I can have an emotional upset because someone said something or didn't want something, or who knows. um or I felt rejected, or I felt alone, or I felt something I didn't like to feel, and then I would eat all of this food, and I would eat until I physically was going to be sick if I ate another bite. Yeah. So that's the first time I really remember it happening, but I knew this is not a one-off. This has been a habit, and I had been very emotionally upset in my life. So I have been doing this since I had my own money and I had the capacity to do it. My own money and a vehicle to get me to the drive-throughs. That's when I started. So that was 15 years of doing that until I woke up to it. And I suppose the fact that I woke up to it in that way is indicative of the way that I approach changing all of my compulsive behaviors, is that I understand that the physical action doesn't just come about on its own. It comes about as a presentation of an idea. And that idea comes about because there's an interaction between a belief held by the individual and the outside world and the interaction of it. And when it doesn't meet your subconscious expectation, you have great disappointment and you have a feeling in your physical body of this is not right. And that feeling of this is not right, the world is not right, needs to be changed. And the body, the mind knows that if you go and eat junk food, your physical state will change because you're eating fats that are rancid and deodorized, and you're eating sugars and salt, and your dopamine is bouncing around in your brain. You are changing your physical state by eating that food, like drastic change. So that is a very logical way to change that state in your body if you're feeling that uneasy because of the interaction of the belief and you can't get rid of this horrible feeling. This is why we eat our feelings, because the food that's available to us can change the body state. And so we use it as a tool because we don't know how to change the body state the other way. We don't know how to
Takes
find the interaction.
takes more work to change
Yeah,
it another way than to do
it's
what you're
harder.
so used to doing,
Yeah.
accustomed to doing. And
Mm.
it sounds like you woke up and made a commitment to yourself several
Yeah.
years ago.
Mm.
What
Yeah.
what does that look like today? I know you mentioned beef, butter, and eggs.
Yeah.
Um,
My ingredient window is really tiny now. I eat, well, I allow myself to eat any meat, any seafood, eggs, butter, salt, um, collagen and gelatin, and that's pretty much it, I think. And a few supplements. I take magnesium. I take Shilajit, which is like dirt, but it's a mineral supplement. Tastes like dirt. Tastes like soil, healthy dirt. Um, and I also take nattokinase, which is it's an enzyme that helps with cleaning up the fibrins, the excess fibrins in your body. And I started taking that because of the COVID injection overreaction in my body to help clean it out. And I continue to take it because there is in my father's line vascular problem. So it's a good idea to keep everything clean and running smoothly. And I also very encouraged that the lipedema, the fat pads are full of fibrotic tissue, and this enzyme affects fibrins. So I'm quite happy to pay the money and take the chance that this constancy of having this extra help in my body may very well help break down the fibrins as my body realizes they can't take up that space anymore. So that's part of what I consume, and iodine as well. And I think that's it. So what do I choose out of those categories? Mostly beef. I don't eat chicken anymore because it's just got nothing in it for me. I used to love chicken, but now it's like it's wishy-washy. You know, I now understand why people who eat a standard diet, even if it's home cooking, have to put a lot of sauces and spices and everything on the chicken to make it taste like something, because it doesn't really taste like much of anything. So I don't choose chicken. I eat bacon because it's from a regenerative farm. So I buy from it's farm to table, and the farmer also runs the butchery. So it doesn't go anywhere other than the he looks after the animals, he takes them to the slaughterhouse, he takes the carcass to the butcher, and they smoke everything themselves, and it's all in-house. And it's really delicious, and it's ruined my opportunity to buy bacon anywhere else because it just doesn't taste the same. And I generally use bacon a bit like a condiment when I'm cooking. So I'll just chop a few pieces up and use it as the fat and the smoky flavor in the pan, and then cook some ground beef in there so it's got an extra flavor. So I get the smoky flavor with the beef. And then I eat a lot of eggs. I also buy my eggs directly from the farm. So I buy a box of 15. We have our eggs in a dozen, 12 in a box. And in Australia, we'd still do that. And I get 15 boxes about every 2 or 3 weeks. And they fill up my fridge and I eat a lot of eggs. Because they're really good eggs. I'm able to get, if I do it that way, I'm able to regularly have organic and free range. So it's the highest level of produce for eggs that you can get, where they're eating non-GMO extra food, and they're also outside on pasture raised. Yeah.
It's
So
very simple.
yeah, since I took out dairy and coffee and stevia, and I have all this stuff still in the cupboard, I just don't think that it's there because I don't think about it. I have all these very clean spices that I used to use, and the only time I've thought to use them is when I ran out of eggs and I had to use egg powder. It doesn't taste the same, so I thought I'll just put some spices with it. So my palate has definitely changed. I can taste all the flavor in the food, the basic foods. And I'm really happy to just have eggs with butter and salt. It's really yum.
See,
I hope you've enjoyed our interviews, and thank you to everyone who's submitted questions so far.
If you've got fresh ideas, leave your questions and comments below, and we'll get to work on them.
Bye for now.
See you in our next set of interviews.
Hello, I'm Joanna Ruth, but you can call me Joanna. I've embraced a carnivore lifestyle increasingly for the past 10 years. Now honing my diet to include meat, seafood, eggs, butter and salt. No plants or dairy anymore for me. With 30 years of experience in education, teaching both adults and children, I've spent the last 20 years developing effective life coaching methods. I now focus on the mental environment as a crucial factor in our health, and I'm excited to share the method of emotional alignment with the carnivore community, another secret weapon to use for our well-being successes. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Please subscribe to the channel and email us if you'd like more information about life coaching. Here's a playlist for the entire series. Please like and subscribe, it helps more than you know. See you in the next video.